could we reframe this? Could we think about it differently and coming up with an entirely different way of going through things? And I think that's really powerful. And in my business, I talk to musicians all the time that have been doing digital only strategies. So a lot of people create music, put it out on streaming platforms, and then hope that people find them. Totally get that. But there's also this business of music and going out and arranging tours and pressing physical albums and engaging your fans. So if you get stuck on this one thing of like, well, I just release albums, I put it on streaming platforms, and I hope people find me, it might happen. It'd be like winning the lottery. But also, if you go and you kind of talk to people and you work with companies like ours who can kind of help you put together your plan and support you, you just get better results. And part of that is bringing those other voices in, being flexible, learning and changing your approach.
Welcome to Relatable Wisdom, the podcast where everyday people share the quotes that guided their lives, offering you fresh perspective and gentle wisdom for your daily journey. Today I'm joined by Rob Bach, a music industry veteran from Portland who spent his career helping artists share their work with the world, whose path has taken him from record stores to Amazon's early days, and now he's building something new with Spinney Media, all while advocating for families like his own. So let's settle in and hear the words that have shaped Rob's approach to work, family, and everything in between. Tell me your name, who you are, and what you do, and what your favorite quote is.
My name is Rob Bach. I'm the founder and CEO of Spinney Media. We're a company that helps all musicians and labels do physical distribution of albums. So CDs, vinyl, cassettes. We help make it easy for artists to get those albums into the hands of their fans.
Okay. What's your favorite, the quote, the lesson?
My favorite quote is very simple. It's just two words: be flexible.
So what does that mean?
So the probably most prominent time I heard it was when I went to my dad. My wife and I were having our first child, and I asked him for parental advice, and his two words were just be flexible. And that proved to be true for our son, Gabriel. And later on, my wife and I divorced, so I had to go through another phase of flexibility as an adult. We had another daughter together who was born with pretty significant disabilities. So be flexible has been a good approach to kind of catch myself when I'm getting like, oh, this is the way it should be, to envision a different way for things to be in life, in work, and really pay attention and be present in the moment and make an adjustment if that's what's needed.
Yeah, when you say be flexible, are you saying that we should be, more flexible like these gymnasts that that they do a backflip 15 times? Is that what you're saying? Like what flexibility are we talking about here?
Yeah, definitely not that. Although, I've been hyper flexible since I was a kid, so nice
Okay.
tricks with hands and thumbs and things. But I think what my dad was saying is you've got a child now, and all the plans you had will be different. I heard another quote along these lines that planning is invaluable and plans are worthless. So you can go through the process of planning and getting ready and coming up with good ideas. That's useful. But then reality happens and your plans
Yeah,
got to
throw it
change.
out of the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, at the time when I had my first son again, now with my ex-wife, um, I had a vision of what the future was going to be. And I'm sure within days, certainly within months, the plan was changing and evolving. And that's been true again with raising kids and even in work life. I've had several career transitions over time, mostly in the music industry. When I left CD Baby, a company I worked for 14 years, I decided to be flexible and come up and be an entrepreneur like my dad was, who was perpetually creating new businesses, changing things out, and being flexible himself. So again, be flexible has been a really important mantra for being a parent and raising kids, and really understanding that, again, planning is worthwhile, plans are worthless. You need to be able to adjust in the moment, and also in work. Things come up. You have this plan, it's going really well. Maybe there's a new opportunity, and the be flexible is go, explore the new opportunity at work. Or a problem comes up, and you have to be kind of thinking on your feet and problem solve. So be flexible has been a really good thing to come back in like, oh, hold on a second. I'm really getting focused on what the solution should be instead of stepping back, taking a fresh look and saying, and listening to other people who may have better ideas and make some changes.
If you could switch the word with flexible to something else, what would it be?
Uh, be iterative. So again, it's kind of iterate. Don't get stuck. The negative, I guess, is don't get stuck. But I like the positive of like be flexible, iterate, listen, learn, and adjust. It comes into my management style when I'm managing particularly large teams. Part of my thing is like, let's figure out what the actual problem or opportunity is first. Then let's think about it and be creative in our problem solving. So that's another way of kind of taking this: be flexible, be iterative, be present, and see what's going on and react to it and adjust as appropriate.
Yeah, the fact that you were told to be flexible means that probably you were not flexible, or probably a lot of persons are not flexible. Am I saying probably? A lot of persons are not flexible. So my question is, why do you think that is? That people are fixed, rigid, fixed, stuck, and there's nothing you can do to
Yeah,
change anything.
I think it happens through different stages of life for really good reasons. So, you go through, maybe it's your younger self and you've got a 12-step plan and every step's going to go great, and you get to step 2 and something changes and you get frustrated. Like, I had a plan, it was perfect. I had a fantastic example of this in my early work life. I was asked to design an emergency stocking program for an entire district of music stores, and I designed it all out. I was probably 19, handed it into the district manager, and he said, "This is perfect, Rob," and that's exactly why it won't work. Like, I was like, "Yay!" And then, "Oh man, really?" And he walked me through why. He said, "You forgot
Uh,
about people. People change things. They have ideas. Things don't go like you expect them to. So you need to have more ability to change things up." So it wasn't just my dad. A decade plus later, I'd gotten the signal for a while and was starting to learn what it meant and how to do it. But to your point, like there were parts of my life where I was less flexible. Imagine a teenager that's built this dream. It's got four things and it's going to happen this way, and you're devastated when something goes wrong. That's natural too. So I think coming back in and really thinking about be flexible, iterate, be present, and kind of think on your feet, and also include other people's ideas are all things you learn as you go along, and just make everything better.
Yeah, now that you explain this, be flexible, it occurs to me that that's actually one of the things that I believe in. But I just did not know. Like, you kind of
Mhm.
articulated it for me, and I'm just going to like share a quick story with you. When I started
Yeah,
podcasting,
please.
my internet was pretty terrible, like so terrible that on the days that where I get 5 MB per second, I'm happy. That's a very good day. So I was like, the first two interviews I did, it was terrible. I couldn't, when I would talk, I would hear the guest 5 minutes later, and having a conversation was just bad. The output of the video was choppy, really terrible, like so terrible. So I was like, okay, should I quit podcasting? I was like, no, I want to podcast. This stuff is genuinely what I want to do. Like, I am clear on it. And then I was like, okay, well, what could we do? And I was like, I cannot improve the internet. Yeah, I could get Starlink, but that's very expensive. I can't afford that now. And I was like, wait, if I cannot do video, I could do something less that the internet can collect. Let me just do audio only. So I started doing audio calls only. And that, those ones with 1 MB, 2 MB per second, I was pretty much good. I was having really good conversations. And that for
Mhm.
me was like, and I'm looking back, I'm like, that was actually flexibility, because I could have stuck to the idea that video, we must do video. But then I was like, I understood the goal that it's to provide valuable content for people out there, whether it's audio or video. As much as we want to do video, it's nice, but we could also do audio, create the content. And just to say, I feel like, and I don't, I maybe you could tell me you could share some of your stories. I feel like the reason why most of the time we're not flexible is because we are stuck to the process rather than the purpose, right? You don't even know. Okay, like the podcast example, you don't even know, or the story you gave of you creating this plan of when you were 19, when your boss gave you a task to do. You don't even know why you're doing the thing you're doing, or who you're doing the thing for in the first place.
Yes.
But you have this process and everything, and it's great and awesome. But you're like, you once you understand the place, the destination you want to go to, you can basically pretty much take different paths to get there.
No, I think that's exactly it. You get stuck on process, and maybe that's the way I've always done it, rather
Yeah.
than kind of looking up from your reading a book almost, and look up and go, oh. wait a second, things are different, things are changing. It, that opens you up not just to solving the particular thing you're working on, but being open to other possibilities. I will give kudos to my now wife. We met back in, I hope I get the year right. It was 2020, I guess. Um,
Ah,
and we got married a year plus later. And she is such a good partner on popping our heads up and going like, wait, could we reframe this? Could we think about it differently? And coming up with an entirely different way of going through things. And I think that's really powerful. And in my business, I talk to musicians all the time that have been doing digital only strategies. So a lot of people create music, put it out on streaming platforms, and then hope that people find them. Totally get that. But there's also this business of music and going out and arranging tours and pressing physical albums and engaging your fans. So if you get stuck on this one thing of like, well, I just release albums, I put it on streaming platforms, and I hope people find me, it might happen. It'd be like winning the lottery. But also, if you go and you kind of talk to people and you work with companies like ours who can kind of help you put together your plan and support you, you just get better results. And part of that is bringing those other voices in, being flexible, learning and changing your approach.
yeah, yeah. I mean, um, the example of making music and putting it out there, it could be, oh yeah, traditionally in the time, this was how it was done. You had to sign up with a record label, and you don't have to worry about anything. But now we're having people who they've understood what the purpose, what the goal is, and now we have people who they blew up on TikTok and their music went viral, and people are listening to their music, and they didn't go through the traditional what do
Mm-hmm.
you call it now? You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, kind of the label system. They didn't go
Yeah,
through like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I
And
think those success stories are so amazing and also so rare. There are so many musicians that I've seen playing in local cafes, playing local shows, doing small regional tours. It's like, yeah, you're building on what you've made in this beautiful music you've got. You're sharing it with fans, you're finding new fans, and you're starting to kind of figure out how to put that all together.
let's take a quick pause. If you're enjoying this conversation and want more thought-provoking ideas straight to your inbox, join the Relatable Wisdom email list. It's free, quick, and filled with bite-sized insights, inspiring quotes, and behind-the-scenes reflections from our guests. Just head to relatablewisdom.com/join. That is relatablewisdom.com/join. Or tap the link in the show notes. And hey, subscribing to the podcast helps more than you think, and it's free. So if you haven't already, hit that follow button wherever you're listening. All right, let's get back to the conversation.
So with our company, we come in with a lot of experience doing physical distribution and add that component for musicians so they don't have to worry about it. It's like you pay a subscription fee, we handle everything for you. It just makes it easier. But it's one of those steps where, again, instead of just following the digital only path, which is what everyone's been doing for maybe the last 6+ years, adding a different component, trying things out and finding what your fans like. That's part of that being flexible as a musician because you're not just a musician, you're also running a business. That part kind of sucks. So you can
Yeah.
invite people in to help you with the business part so you can focus on the music.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of musicians they have really good music, but nobody it's not promoted, so nobody really knows or cares about it.
Yeah, it's hard. The plus is in today's industry, you can pretty inexpensively put together some music and put it out there. The minus is there's a lot of music out there. So how do you stand out? How do you connect with your fans? It almost always starts locally. It almost always starts with friends, family, people coming to see you perform, buying your CD, and then you start building on that. So I have people now who are located here in Portland, Oregon, but are touring in the UK and Germany with a bunch of other people who are in other bands and bigger, better known bands. They built those careers from kind of playing on other people's albums, doing a lot of work as session musicians, doing local gigs, and now they've kind of got that stage in their career where they're kind of breaking through. Takes a lot of work, and you need a lot of help, and you need that be flexible mentality to like, oh, yeah, that collaboration sounds good. I should try that out instead of just like, here's my plan. I'm going to release this on these dates, and that's just the way it's going to be. So I think it applies in life and business, and I've been fortunate to have it help me in fatherhood, help me find this fantastic life partner I have in Sue, and also it has helped me kind of help other people, musicians and other folks who just need some help, need some partnership, and again, maybe need to learn to iterate and be flexible and take a different approach to finding their fans.
Yeah. Still on the subject of flexibility. Well, when were you always doing this company? Well, what were you doing before you founded the company?
Yeah, so I mentioned a little bit earlier, I was working for a company called CD Baby, which is one of the biggest digital distributors out there. I joined in 2009 and worked there through 2023, so 14 years, moving up to become the COO of the company and managing all the physical digital distribution, customer service. Because again, I started in the warehouse, but we had these other things that were interesting and that I could help with. So over time, kind of expanded what I worked on there because I'm curious, flexible, all those things. So I did that for a long time, and the company kind of changed direction, and that gave me the opportunity to go do a mix of operational consulting, so I can go out and help other people run their companies or fix problems, and also start my Spinney Media business.
What was it like? What was it like where, taking making the decision to say, okay, I'm in this company, I'm working for this company, and no, I should start my own. That itself is
Yeah,
risky.
I think a little bit of that is going back to the who told me to be flexible. My dad, he's a serial entrepreneur, so it's been pretty rare that I'm not either working a ton of hours within a company and taking on additional departments and things because I'm just perpetually curious and want to have that energy of being productively busy. And then also sometimes having a side gig. I was a mobile DJ in the mid 90s for about 2.5 years, in addition to my day job, in addition to doing some schooling. So I've learned how to be a serial entrepreneur if I'm working for a company, or an entrepreneur if I'm doing my own business or doing a side gig. So it's just been a theme through my life. I even worked for Amazon at its earliest days, 1998 to 2000, when they were just expanding out of books into music and everything else. And not surprisingly, I worked 65 hours a week on average there, and found a lot of different things to do that weren't just my main job. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's part of that curiosity. It's not always healthy. 65 hours a week, I wouldn't recommend it. But I certainly learned a lot and am able to apply that now to my own business, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, be flexible. Oh, no, it's good. Thanks for sharing this quote, because now that you know how something I think the reason why certain things resonate with us is because when we hear those things, it articulates our lived experience. So we're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been in that situation before. Be flexible, and it's something I would keep reminding myself, because oftentimes we're like, no, this is how it has to be done, right? And let's say you're like, oh, you want to create, I'm just going to give my own examples, right? Let's say you want to create content and you're like, okay, I need light to create content. You saw when we started creating content, everywhere was dark.
Mm-hmm.
There's no electricity. So I had to like connect the light to a power bank and, turn it on and all that. But then I could say, okay, oh, because there's no electricity, I can't create content. And so probably when there's electricity, that's when I create content. Or maybe when you hopped in and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, there's no electricity now. Let's cancel the call and let's do something else. I think it's about really like dialing in and understanding where you want to go to and the purpose and why we're even doing what we're doing in the first place, such that you can easily say, okay, no, this road is blocked, but we can take this path to get to that place.
Yeah, and I think the emphasis that you have on purpose, like what's your North Star? Okay, that doesn't have to change. How you're going to get there is going to change all the time. You gave
Yeah.
some really good examples there and previously about like audio only. I guess I'm going to start audio only, but that was an okay place to start. And with Spinney Media, we didn't start with a full, like, here's our website. We built it over the last 9 months and we hope people will show up. We did a limited beta without even a platform at first. Reached out to some artists and said, hey, would you be interested in this? And then built a basic platform. And now we just relaunched a newer web page based on what we learned from artists, because that's how you build a business, or that's how you build a podcast, or that's how you become a good parent. That didn't work. I'm going to try this
Yeah.
with my kid. You know,
Yeah.
it's all kind of part of the piece.
Yeah. 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 Be flexible. Be flexible. Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I'm really, really glad that I'm having this conversation with you and that you got to share this quote with me and the stories you did share too.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you so much. I think it's fantastic to talk with you, and that little bit of wisdom my dad passed down, I hope other people find it useful.
yeah. Some I just want to nudge a bit out of curiosity, right? You've been running the business for how many years now?
This particular business has gone true to what I'm saying. It's gone through at least two different versions. So I've been running for a little over 2 years. Originally started buying and selling used vinyl, but then when CD Baby, my old employer, stopped doing physical distribution, I kind of got back into my old game and picked up that piece that they were no longer doing. So that changed. We officially launched last December with that new platform. And again, that beta format of learning from our artists and from labels on whether or not we were meeting their needs, and if not, what else we could do. So we'll keep doing that because I think keeping it fresh and being focused on what our customers really want and are willing to pay for is important for a business. We want to make
Yeah.
sure we hit the right spots and truly being valuable.
Yeah, yeah, thank you so much for that. And yeah, that's the thing about business. A lot is changing, but you also need to understand what will not change. So that's when you know that, oh, this stuff will never change, and say, okay, if these things will not change, that means we can basically change every other thing and be good.
Yeah, and sometimes you learn like things that you didn't expect. If you had planned 12 steps ahead and you stayed kind of blindly on the path, you might end up on a cliff that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah,
So really using your customer as your North Star. What do they need? Am I really providing value? What I found in physical albums is, there's a huge demand right now. More and more younger fans are getting into it. So my mission is to make sure all independent artists and labels can actually participate. It's not always easy to do the professional fulfillment steps, shipping on time, getting to the post office. Like we take that all off the table for our subscribers and say, we'll do all that for you. Focus on what you do well. Go make some more music. Work your day job if you have one. Most musicians do, and don't sweat it. We'll take care of your fans.
yeah. Thank you for that. If people are curious and they want to like learn more about you and what you do, where can they do that?
Yeah, a great place to go is spinneymedia.com. You'll see what we're offering to musicians and labels and learn a little bit about us, my team, and my own background. So that's a great place to start.
Yeah. Well, once again, thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast and for sharing your own favorite quote.
Thank you very much, and be flexible.
Thanks for listening to Relatable Wisdom. If you found something meaningful in this episode, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. If you'd like to support the show, you can do that by buying me a coffee. The link is in the show notes. Every little bit keeps the conversations going. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep growing.